Well, so the thing about the jerk is like all you're doing in the catch of the jerk is putting yourself in a position to support the weight. Bars overhead, you want your wrist, elbow, shoulder, and hip to be in one line.
Yeah.
And
Versus,
then your back knee, you want it to be as close to that line as possible, but there's going to be some angle. So the closer to a straight line all of your joints down to your knee can be, the more supportive of a position you're going to be in just physically. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a straight leg and be a good jerker. I mean, plenty of people have done it. Um, it just means to be in the most structurally supportive position, you're going to have somewhat of a bent knee. Yeah, it's funny because most weightlifters will have a different answer. Like a lot of people will say, "I'm done after, I'm done competing. I am never touching a weight again." I mean, I enjoy lifting weights. I always have. So how often will I do snatch and clean and jerk? I don't know, but I'll at least lift weights. I mean, I enjoy just as much doing dumbbell work and squatting and pressing as much as the Olympic lifts. So I'm sure I will always, so long as I'm healthy, lift weights to some capacity. Um, I want to find something when I'm older that I can compete in because I do enjoy competing. So, whether that is, I don't know, whether that's weightlifting or something as different as from weightlifting as chess, I'll try to find something that I compete against other people in, and that may or may not be weightlifting at that point. As far as nutrition goes, I mean, I guess when CrossFit came along, I started working at a CrossFit gym, and I was a trainer there, coaching CrossFit and the weightlifting side of things. I did get into paleo, and the thing about paleo is that you kind of end up labeling foods good and bad, and you're not really looking at the quantity of what you're eating, I guess, which is extremely important. And it just kind of stopped working for me because in the culture that I was in, there was a lot of CrossFitters who were doing a lot of cardio CrossFit metcons, and so they were able to eat more, and they kind of like had like these crazy paleo nights where you'd go and eat like a pound of meat, and then eat, I don't know, it was just like there was no limit. And so obviously when you're not thinking about quantity, you're not optimizing what you need for your body. So the great thing about working with Renaissance Periodization has taught me is, for one, that carbs and bread are not necessarily bad. Gatorade's not necessarily bad. It's a liberating feeling knowing when and where to put the right macronutrients and what type of carbs to eat when you can eat carbs, etc. So there's more to it, and this has really worked for me. I've seen paleo and carb backloading and stuff like that work for other people, but this for me just makes a lot more sense, and it's great to not feel bad when I have Gatorade during training. It's a part of my diet, whereas I literally would feel horrible if I drank Gatorade before, like I had done something really bad, and I can have fig Newtons after training. And now that I understand the reasoning and why he wants me to eat certain macronutrients at the certain times, it's great. I mean, it's so much easier for me to stick to this than anything else, and I think the results show that has worked for me personally because I've lost 25 plus pounds. Due to this back issue, I haven't really maintained all of my strength. I did have a good showing at Pan Am's. I placed third, but I definitely currently do have a slight drop off in my strength, but that's more due to an injury than the weight loss, which is amazing to me. So.